Starmer's great Brexit betrayal is fully underway. Of course, remember, he was Remainer-in-Chief. He was the man pushing, above all, for a second referendum to overturn the result. But he went to the country in July 2024 with some absolute assurances we would not be rejoining the single market, the customs union, or the European Union. Well, let's have a little think about what he's done. Already, he's scrapped the Turing programme. That was for British students to go to universities all over the world. It was great value for money. Gone. Replaced by the Erasmus scheme, which is going to cost 8 billion quid over the next 10 years. And what that means is whilst some of our students will go to Europe, actually many, many more European students will come to our country. Add to that a youth mobility scheme, where once again, many more from Europe will come here than we will go there. But just this weekend, he's proudly said that we're now following single market rules on food products, and that actually we might align more closely with the single market if it's in our national interest. Well, I don't think this man even believes in anything called the national interest. He just believes in Brussels. He believes in globalism. He believes in international law and all of those things. And what it really means, what does a line mean? What it really means is we will follow European Union rules and laws. Westminster will have no say whatsoever over any of those rules that are made that affect pretty much every business in this country. That is a full-on Brexit betrayal. And just to make it even worse, just as the country is waking up to the sheer folly and stupidity of what net zero policies have done, remember, they've put our bills up and they've deindustrialized huge areas of Britain. We now have the most expensive industrial energy prices in the world. And yet, we're signing up to the European Union's internal energy and electricity market. The Daily Telegraph described it as net zero being doubled. We will now have to follow European Union rules on net zero. It'll further damage British manufacturing. It'll make it impossible for us to have data centres, AI, crypto, all the things that we're going to need in the 21st century. And frankly, it is an absolute sellout of British business and of British consumers with no benefit whatsoever. And it also means that there will be tariffs on goods coming in to Britain and the European Union from outside, from countries deemed to be high carbon dioxide emitters. Remember when Donald Trump put tariffs on? Everyone screamed blue murder. But now we're going to sign up to a programme where we will be tariffing other countries, trading partners that are selling goods to us. The whole thing is madness. But you know what?
A significant political confrontation has reportedly taken place in Parliament, where Nigel Farage delivered a high-stakes critique of Prime Minister Keir Starmer's leadership. According to Farage, secret government documents allegedly provided by whistleblowers show that the Prime Minister personally intervened to cancel multiple deportation flights for political reasons at a substantial cost to taxpayers. These allegations suggest that the individuals involved included those with serious criminal records, a revelation that led to chaotic scenes in the Commons, and reports of several cabinet members leaving the chamber in protest. Farage characterised this as a profound betrayal of the public's trust, particularly in light of the government's previous commitments to border security. The controversy has highlighted a stark social contrast, with critics pointing to the disparity between the high costs of housing, asylum seekers in hotels, and the ongoing crisis of veteran homelessness. Stories of decorated veterans living in tents while foreign nationals receive taxpayer-funded support have fueled a national debate about the government's priorities. This sentiment has reportedly spread to the Labour backbenches, where some MPs have allegedly expressed concern that the current administration's policies are becoming indefensible to their constituents. Adding to the tension are claims of leaked audio recordings and security footage that supposedly show a coordinated effort by the Prime Minister's office to manage migration figures and arrival times to minimise negative media coverage. While these recordings have been a source of intense debate and were challenged by the Speaker for violating parliamentary protocol, the information has already reached a global audience. The fallout has been described as a nuclear moment for the administration, with reports suggesting that even Buckingham Palace is monitoring the situation with concern for the stability of the government. As the political and legal implications continue to unfold, the pound has reacted negatively to the perceived instability, and the prospect of a constitutional crisis has become a central topic of discussion. With Reform UK surging in the polls and the Prime Minister facing a barrage of questions about his transparency and integrity, many observers believe the government is facing its most critical test to date. The coming days are expected to determine whether the administration can survive this unprecedented level of exposure, or if the pressure for a change in leadership will become insurmountable.
Sure, the honourable member for Rugby that Reform want healthcare to be free at the point of delivery. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker. There appears to be some panic on that side of the House. I'm not surprised. To ask the Prime Minister, I'd like some advice, please. What do I say? Oh, they really are panicking, aren't they?
The immediate economic devaluation. The financial sector has reportedly entered a state of emergency following Nigel Farage's parliamentary speech, with FTSE futures collapsing by 2.8% in after-hours trading. Leading international investment firms, including Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs, have allegedly issued dire warnings downgrading UK bonds to negative and characterising the nation's governance as fundamentally unstable. This fiscal panic has forced the Bank of England to call for an immediate emergency meeting, as currency traders anticipate a significant further drop in the value of sterling. The Black Wednesday comparison has been widely adopted by financial observers who report that billions are being withdrawn from UK assets, while the London housing market is experiencing a panic selling phase not seen since the 2008 financial crisis. The disintegration of the Labour government. Politically, the administration is reportedly in a state of terminal fracture. The Red Wall rebels and the North West Caucus, comprising dozens of Labour MPs, have allegedly drafted formal letters demanding the Prime Minister's immediate resignation. Within the cabinet, the situation has been described as a survival-focused free-for-all, with senior ministers reportedly shouting at one another and plotting their own paths forward as discipline entirely collapses. Speculation is rife that Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner is already preparing for a transition of power, while loyalists who once anchored the party are now resigning via text message. The atmosphere inside Number 10 is characterised by staffers in tears and a Prime Minister described as paralysed by the magnitude of the rebellion.
The whole thing is madness. But you know what? This Parliament, whether it's the Liberal Democrats, or they want to join the customs union as well, which would mean we couldn't do our own trade deals, Labour, quite a few of the Tories, this is a Parliament wholly unrepresentative of the country. Are there frustrations with Brexit nearly 10 years on? Of course there are. And the main one is that the Conservative Party did not take us away from enough single market rules, therefore making it easier for Starmer to realign us. And remember, one of the main reasons we voted Brexit was to get back control of our borders. And under the Boris wave, in 1 year, nearly 1 million people came in. So the Tories did not deliver on Brexit in any way at all. They never actually believed in it. And now Labour want to betray it. Well, I'll tell you something. You may think we're doing badly economically in Britain, but parts of the European Union are doing even worse. There is a whole new world out there. India, the Far East, China, so many new emerging markets around the globe. And if we sign up to single market rules, we're effectively making ourselves even more uncompetitive. I promise you, I did not spend over a quarter of a century fighting for us to get back self-control of our country, to watch Starmer give it all away after Tory failure without a real fight. And part of that fight will be the elections on May the 7th, where we will make sure that Brexit betrayal is a real, live political.
Public uprising and the shift in national sentiment. On the streets, a genuine uprising appears to be taking hold. Spontaneous protests have erupted in major cities including London, Birmingham and Manchester, with crowds estimated in the tens of thousands surrounding government buildings and party headquarters. On social media, the sentiment has been even more overwhelming, with hashtags calling for the Prime Minister's removal and even appealing for royal intervention, trending globally at an unprecedented rate. This public anger is mirrored by a seismic shift in polling data. Reform UK has reportedly surged to 31%, overtaking Labour, which has collapsed to its lowest recorded support in modern history. For the first time, a third party is being discussed not as a protest movement, but as a government in waiting, constitutional warnings and national security concerns. The crisis has reached a new level of severity, with allegations that the Prime Minister may have violated his oath of office. Reports suggest that secret documents have surfaced allegedly showing the administration took policy instructions from foreign-funded NGOs, prompting a potential investigation into whether national security was compromised. As Kemi Badenoch and Nigel Farage continue their relentless forensic assault on the government's moral authority, the focus has shifted to the Crown, with King Charles reportedly holding emergency meetings at Balmoral and maintaining a strategic silence. Constitutional experts warn that the UK is entering its most dangerous political phase in generations, one that could result in the fall of the government within hours.